Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. We're really happy you joined us today. We're looking forward to our time.
My chair is too close here. I got to move back here.
Am I too close?
No, you be wherever you like. Welcome, everybody. Glad you're here with us today. Today, we're going through a very exciting time for us because it's the sexual energy activation, which is really powerful for us. We've been doing this actually all over the world now for, I don't know how many years, probably about 5 or 6 years, 7 years, something of that nature, where we've given this particular seminar. Now, this one's different. If you've taken the seminar from us before, we've taken the best pieces of this and also the new pieces, because the world has changed.
Oh, that's an understatement. But I want to thank you for joining us, because it takes a lot of courage to participate or join in a sexual energy, because the word sex scares a lot of people.
Well, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It does. Well, that's part of the reason that we called this a sexual energy activation. We have also recently done the balancing sexual energy, which is quite different. That's about the masculine and the feminine and making space for the feminine energy basically to return to Earth in its full power.
Well, I think that the group had it in the right order, because, you know, you have to balance yourself first to feel whole and centered, and then you can explore more of who you are, understanding your sexual energy.
Well, that's what we're going to actually bring up, and you'll see that here today. So when we talk about balancing sexual energy, what we're really talking about is balancing the masculine and the feminine within each one of us. And the group has actually talked a lot about that. We're going to bring that up a little bit today. And we have a few things we're going to bring you right here on the set here in the Evolution Center. And then we'll move over to Studio A and bring in the live channel and bring that in along with the activation today. We've been working a lot with our technologies and a lot of the information that we give out, and we're really looking forward to this today.
Well, we wanted today to be free so that as many of you as possible could join us and to get a little idea of where we're going with this information. And if you can join us for the rest of the time, that's wonderful. But I'm sure that you'll get something out of today, because we wanted to really present some information that will be helpful, I think.
Well, and this activation is all about making your eyes brighter, basically making you more carrying more of your spirit in the physical body. Now, that is usually not equated with sexual energy. Sexual energy is usually about attraction, magnetism, all of that kind of stuff what people talk about. But what we're going to be talking about is how can you be more of a person? And it's not about the right or wrong about sexuality or anything else. This is about the inner being of our spirit and how it expresses itself in a physical body, very simply.
How your spirit can soar and shine through this physical body of yours.
Right. So this is not a place where we're not going to actually be talking about the act of sex. That's not the purpose of this. We assume that all of you already know the act of sex, so we're not going to cover that one.
That was 6101. I think we gave that a few months ago.
We're in 102 or 201 now, whatever it is. But anyway, basically, that's what we're going to be covering today, and what the group will be talking about is the inner force. Now, a lot of times, this has been called in other circumstances. Other teachers call it different things. It's often referred to as chi or prana. We specifically, by the directions from the group, call it sexual energy, for the very simple reason that the group says humans are afraid of that word. We're absolutely afraid of that word. Now, here's the reason that they really wanted to do this. Why are we doing these sexual energy seminars, and especially now? There's so many people that have made this transition into the new world and had challenges with it. Major challenges that we literally, the last year, we stopped our regular procession of seminars, and we addressed almost everything into what we needed right in this second, and literally changed everything. Our whole staff went crazy around here, last minute changes and stuff.
So many people we heard from, in the past felt stuck and unsure, and as we began this new time, we're all kind of feeling our way of like where we're going from here. And this information that we're going to talk about hopefully will help you understand yourself more and walk a little taller in who you are.
That's the idea. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit so we can see, because we do want to bring in the the visual there, and we are going to use the screen a little bit today while we get started, and then we'll go over into Studio A. And
one thing I do want to bring up, because other people may have this question too. What we're talking about, how is this different than the Kundalini?
Kundalini energy is sexual energy. Very simple. This could be called chi, prana, Kundalini, any of those. Now, Kundalini is the energy that crawls up and down and weaves in and out of the spine. You see it every time you see the American Medical Society that has that two snakes that basically that is actually the Kundalini energy. And many of our seminars work with Kundalini energy. I don't want to just simply say this is a Kundalini activation. It's much more than that. Because what we're doing is trying to give everybody a larger vision of really what this is. And hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit more. And when we take you through some of these things, I'm even going to show you pictures today of people and just say, tell me what you think of their sexual energy. What do you think of theirs? What do you think of this? So you can kind of see how it shows. Now, I will tell you, I do have a problem with this particular seminar and my pictures that I use. And that's the reason, because the simple reason is I buy these pictures. I have to have copyright to be able to use these. So the pictures that I'm actually showing you today, most of them are professional models. That makes it difficult to actually show you what it looks like, sexual energy, because everybody's trying to look that way anyway.
And so they're picture perfect.
Exactly. Everybody's trying to look with their really bright eyes.
I wish I could have gone out in the public, like in an airport, and with my camera and just taken pictures of people, but you can't do
I've got a few. I'll show you some of those today as we're kind of going through this. But it's difficult for me to just give you a picture of what this looks like. Every time I see it, I can point to somebody and I can say, look at the energy coming off of that person, Barbara, and she'll look over there and she'll go, yeah, they're just bright, they're shining. And we can be in an airport and have that happen. We can be waiting for our luggage and spot people like that. That is fun. That is fun. Once you start to learn to see it in other people, you learn what you need to do to bring it into you. It's real easy. It's real simple. So these are the exercises we're going to go through today. We will be doing a very special activation at the end. It's going to be about 20, 25 minutes long, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I really look forward to this one. It's unique. I'll simply say that. Well, I've spent a lot of time on this one. This one's some of our new level of work that we're very excited about. So we'd love to hear from you too. We'd love to hear any feedback that you have. Usually at the bottom of the page of Lightworker, or at the bottom of Paths to Empowerment, whichever site you're on, you'll find a little form that you can send us your ideas or your comments. If you have any, we'd love to hear them. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk a little bit first about what sexual energy is really and the whole process of it. And we're going to be working with this in a couple different areas. We've got the screen, of course, that's right behind Barbara, but I can bring it on this full screen as well so we can kind of be there. So what is the sexual energy? Well, let's start by defining that a little bit. What does it actually look like? We know what we think is sexy, but that is not always what we're talking about here. What we're really talking about here more than anything else is the brightness in the eyes. When you can look at another person and see their spirit, now you are connected not only to your sexual energy but to theirs.
Well, we're all trying to develop and understand our spiritual part of who we are. We call this spiritual confidence. By understanding our sexual energy, it's your physical confidence. Because it's true, you walk a little taller, your eyes shine when you feel so sure of yourself. It is a confidence of understanding your physical body and your mind together and having people see you as you really are.
Your microphone's not quite as loud as mine. Maybe we can get Austin to come in here and fix it here in just a second, but we'll see if we can put that out. But I also, thank you, buddy. If you turn her up a little bit, appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, we just didn't have, we try to balance everything and then we go live and something's always a little bit out of balance. So just bring her up a little bit. That's great. All right, good. Okay, so we're going to get into a little bit more of this and talk about it. Barb will do some of these readings off here. These are from the group.
The act of sex in any form is an opportunity to balance the masculine, feminine. Life within a field of duality gives the illusion that your sexual expression is male or female.
And it's not, obviously. We carry both within our being all the time. It's balancing that energy that's difficult for us sometimes. Previous lifetimes, we haven't been motivated to balance it. It's only in the most recent, maybe 50 years, that we've actually been aware of the connection. And of course, all you have to do today is to turn on the television, and you'll see all the exposure, all the coming out of people who have been hiding, basically.
Well, it's amazing because, the shows that we watched, the TV shows when we were children, and if you were to watch reruns of those now, you would just laugh. I mean, people didn't even sleep in the same bed.
That's right.
And it was very much determined, the little woman and the man who earns the money, and it's all changed so much where we are equal in so many levels.
When I was a child, we were watching Rob and Laura Petrie have the first bedroom scene ever. It was just it was the silliest thing because they were just sitting on the bed. The rules were that you had to have 1 foot on the ground if you were going to film a bedroom.
Well, they were
scene.
Twin beds. Yeah, they definitely.
Yeah, and of course they were twin beds, but they were actually sitting on the same bed, which was very suggestive.
But we know what went on when the lights went off and the TV camera was off.
But look at how much we've changed. That's the idea. We used to be very much in fear of losing control of our sexual energy. Oh my God, what would that mean? And because of that, we have overextended a lot of our restrictions and fears of this.
Right, in movies and television, that's just one example of where you'll see the changes today. And I think they're pushing the limits every year.
All the time. All right, let's go on to the next one here.
Spirit knows no division and is constantly attempting to balance your own energy. Sex is the act of blending your energy with another who has a different balance or imbalance.
Okay, so the way to think about this is pretty simple. Let's just say I've got this big bowl of water, okay? And, well, let's say it's a pan full of water. It will be a little easier, okay? Now, the pan of water, energy, water in there, which is the group actually calls water energy. But basically, that energy is always going to find its level, isn't it? If you tilt the pan this way, it's going to level out and fall all to one side. You tilt the pan this way, it's going to go over here and level out on this side. That's what we do with sexual energy. We basically, because of this polarity of this planet Earth, basically, duality that we've been in, we basically choose male or female. Now, many times, I've talked to Ilra about this, I have chosen male many. I'm comfortable as a male. I'm not comfortable as a female. I have done that before. Ilra told me one time that on another planet, he was actually married to me, and he was the masculine.
Oh, wow.
And he said he made a horrible woman, basically. So I basically didn't fit too well into that. So what do? I come in with my imbalance. We'll get to that in just a minute. But basically, I'm imbalanced. As much as I'd like to find my balance, I came in with a very heavy tilt toward the masculine.
And I came in very, very feminine. And I've worked throughout my life to get more of my masculine side in.
Right. And,
yeah.
I've since being in this work, I used to be a general contractor.
Oh, very male.
Most of the words are 4 letters.
Oh.
I mean, that's all you do. But, so the shift for me has been huge, too.
Well, mainly in the area of communication, because he could not express feelings. That was not the manly thing to do, to show any weakness.
You don't do that.
And now, since I am so balanced, more balanced in my female male, and he is as well, that's where our relationship works, because we're balanced, and then we can bring it together as a relationship.
Well, and it's perfectly okay to be out of balance. That's the thing we do. But what happens with any energy, all energies find the path of least resistance and find their own balance, always. So keep that in mind as we go through here. Here's the next one, huh? I'm sorry, that's the one I just did. Let's try this one.
In a field of duality, you can carry unequal balances of male and female energy. The nature of all energy is to seek balance. The balance of male-female sexual energy is what is now before all humans.
I think we just said that, so we'll go on to the next one. We have just a few of these that we're going to read, guys, and show you kind of the basis of it before we go into the channels.
As a result of this imbalance, your sexual energy is strongest when another soul reflects your energy with a balance of their own. This is the nature of sexual relationships.
This is part of what we do. How do we choose partners? Well, we think we've got all these ideas and this list, and they have to look this way, and they have to be interested in this, and they have to be this age group, and they have... We have all these belief systems around what that is, but in fact, what it is the majority of the time, you are actually choosing someone, you are attracted sexually to someone because they are out of imbalance as much as you are, but the opposite way. That's the idea. If I'm feeling full of my thing and I'm tilted all this way, I'm going to fall in love with somebody who's tilted the other way. Did I do that right? But that's basically what it is. So this is one of the ways that we balance ourselves, is to have relationships with other people as well. And balance it that way.
Well, and your sexual attraction to someone is very individual, because, I will share this with you that Steve and I were sitting at a restaurant having lunch one day in another country,
Latvia.
I forget, Latvia,
Must be Latvia.
where there are very many beautiful women there. They're known for that, I think.
They're known for the high cheekbones.
Yes, models come from
Latvia,
there.
apparently.
But we were sitting outside in this balcony, and this beautiful woman starts to walk by and says, Steve, look at her. Isn't
Do I
she
have a
beautiful?
life or what? She shows me all the beautiful women to make sure I don't miss them. Is that
Well,
awesome
because
or
I
what?
have confidence in my own
Exactly.
sexual energy
Exactly.
that I can do that. And what does that do? He'll see her, go, wow, yes, stir up that sexual energy, and I'm the winner because I get to receive it from him.
Works all the time.
It is good. But Steve might do the same thing. He'll say, not that you don't do it as usually as much as I do.
have trouble
but
finding out
he
what
will
you're
say,
attracted to.
He'll say, look at that guy. I bet you think he's really hot. And I go, nah.
9 times out of 10, she go, no. I go,
But he's probably a very nice person.
I have trouble finding what she's attracted to.
You know what I'm attracted to is confidence. When a man shows that's why I fell in love with you at 16 years old.
16 years old.
You maybe were faking it, but you had that confidence.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now she knows all my secrets.
Oh, yeah.
We've been together a while, guys. All right, so let's go through this to see where we're at. I think we did this one. So the idea here is that basically we're trying to balance. We're trying to always balance, even if we're not aware of it. So what does the seeking balance really look like, and how do we do that all the time? Well, we come in with imbalances. We know. You can see the imbalance here. The guy's heavier than the girl. Real simple. And we try to figure out whatever we need to do. Basically, a lot of our motivations on this planet are due to seeking this balance that we're looking for. So keep that in mind as we go forward here through some of this. And we're going to show you some pictures here. What I really want to show you when I show you these pictures, and I'll try to tell you which ones are which and so forth. We'll kind of go through them. We got some more reading to do here too. But look at the eyes. That's where you find sexual energy, is in the eyes.
Yes.
Can you see her?
I mean, that's love right there.
She is just, well, it's love, but she's also full of playful sexual energy. You can see she's about to tickle him or something or giggle.
And this brings up a very good point. Sexual energy can be felt from, adolescence to until you pass on to this, from this world.
What a way to go.
Yes. I mean, why can't an 85-year-old couple feel that spark for each other?
Absolutely. And we're finding this is much more. We have always received. We've always getting as we get older. We thought, oh well, that was for a long. You know what? I got news for you. Even if your equipment stops working, sexual energy is there, and we're going to use it in different ways, no matter what, because it's what lights us up in these bodies in the first place. So there is all kinds of things we can do. This is just downright sexy because of the intimacy, which is what that's all about.
And also, you can see the humor that they share with each other just from her smile.
Not taking it too seriously.
But that it can be a way to bring in sexual energy between two people, is to joke about it, to be playful.
Well, some of the sexiest stuff is laughter. Absolutely. Well, we'll talk about
You like my dirty laugh.
I like her. Well, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it today.
All right. Energy in any form crosses the veil freely as it has finite and infinite properties and exists in all dimensions. The base energy of all energies is felt in human form as love. You get regular infusions of love energy from home.
So we basically get regular infusions of love energy from home. Almost like Ilra talks about being over our shoulder many times.
This is felt this is felt within your physical body as sexual energy. The vibrations that you experience during moments of sexual pleasure as humans are the same vibrations that we live in all the time.
I'm ready to go home.
Take
me home.
I think you asked the group at one time,
We
is
did.
there sex on the other side?
We were in front of a large audience in Nijmegen, Holland.
Oh, my, you remember.
Rana Herman was there, and somebody in the audience asked about sexual energy. They said, what about sex? What about, what is that? What is that? Why is it such a big deal? And is there sex on the other side of the veil? That was one of my original questions when the group came in. I didn't tell anybody, but, when you got a group on your shoulder, you ask them personal questions sometimes. So anyway, because all these people were talking at the time, this was quite a few years ago, but all these people were talking about coming in as gender neutral, and that we were all going to become one sex, and there would be no more sex, and when you go home you don't need that division, so there is no sex. I'm not sure I wanted to go, to be honest with you. And then they told me this, and I said, okay, I'm ready. Because basically we live in that energy all the time. We only create it occasionally here when we either run a lot of sexual energy, because there's other ways of experiencing this besides the acts of sex. There are many ways. Well, a person who has a Kundalini experience is not generally in the process of a sexual process when they're doing it. Most of the time they're in a grocery store, or they're watching a video like we're doing or something. They're not expecting it. And boom, the channels open. The energy races up and down the spine, and it's problematic for most people, because basically they are walking around having orgasms all the time. Well, that's exactly kind of what happens to them.
Well, and it's very common to go into fear about this. Yeah. We talked about this one time.
You feel like you lose control.
And I did get an email from a lady who said, I felt this, and she was in the grocery store, and it scared her. She says, I feel like I have no control over my body.
She basically felt like she couldn't shut it off, which would scare anybody.
But, fear is only the unknown. And once you feel comfortable with your own sexual energy, then you go, well, that's pleasant, and let it go.
You learn how to just flow with it and so forth. And, of course, when a Kundalini experience happens, it's basically because all the channels open up at once. And you basically get flooded with energy that you have been holding back very quietly. And that does settle down. It does settle. Takes some time, depending on each person. It does settle down to a point where you can live in that energy all the time, and you'll remember those times that you were so embarrassed because you couldn't function and so forth, but in reality you'll be able to control it.
But
use it.
You can have sexual energy, that feeling anywhere, like a grocery store. Say you're walking down the aisle and there's a person that you find very attractive, and you just have a moment when you share a smile, and that's all. Your eyes are bright, they meet each other, and then you go on your separate ways. But isn't that nice to experience that, just for that quick moment?
It is, and it's almost like two spirits sparking each other.
Right.
That's the best. And does it mean you have to go off and have an affair with them or change your life? No, it doesn't. It means you had a moment in the grocery store, which was kind of nice. That's the deal, and that we highly encourage.
I'm going shopping.
Okay,
now.
Wait, turn up the air. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's bring this back in.
Okay.
There we go.
Beautiful picture. It is one of the most important tasks of your higher self to keep those energy infusions coming. That energy is what keeps you alive. This energy is what allows your spirit to take form as a human. Sexual energy illuminates the body with enough light force that it breathes life into dust. illuminates. I love that
That's it.
word.
It's
That's
an
exactly
illumination.
what it does.
It's the illumination.
Yes, when you feel that energy, you just light up and it shows through your eyes and your smile.
Now, a lot of people disagree with me on how we're categorizing this, because we are categorizing this as life force energy, as basically the base energy that runs through us. But if you stop and think about it, and just for a while take this on and play with this a little bit and see what we're talking about. The stuff that actually lights you up, makes you more alive, brings more of your spirit into your body. That is sexual energy, according to the group. It's not what is always defined as sexual energy, but that is the most powerful, creative energy we have on planet Earth. And not only are we all looking to balance ourselves, but the planet itself is now balancing with a new feminine energy, which is not about to take over. We've been out of balance before. Even the planet was out of balance, and now we're going to settle somewhere in the middle. But that means that the feminine has to come up, and we have to make space for that in all of our lives, in our thinking, in our businesses, in our private lives, every other part of it.
But we are making
power the feminine energy.
We are making room for it. You can see it in everywhere you look, all areas of life.
I've been watching some of the interesting things on the History Channel, and there's some fascinating shows on all the time, and one of them is all about the mysteries of the Masons, the Masonic temples, and all the different things that they did, and the secrets that they hid, and all the other things. There's a lot, and I'm not a Mason, and if I was, I wouldn't be able to tell you the secrets, supposedly. But there's a lot of indication, and I don't know this for sure, but there's a lot of indication that the secret of the Masons was about protecting the feminine energy of planet Earth. And that, well, that is exactly what this is about, because the feminine energy is the creative energy that we tend to bowl over with the masculine energy many times. And that's changing in a lot of our different areas. And I don't know that for sure, but I kind of feel that way. I kind of when you hear something, it rings true. That one rang true to me, so I thought I'd pass it on, but I don't know that. I'm not a Mason myself. But there's a lot of these hidden secrets. And a lot of the hidden secrets, the group says, are about the feminine energy and about to become less of a secret in front of all of us.
Well, I think the feminine energy, the strength of it has always been there in a quiet way.
That's it.
You know, they've always said to be behind every great man is a good woman.
It's only because a man's louder most of the time.
But now they can say behind every great woman is a good man.
There you go. There you go. Good. All right. Did we read? I think we already got this one. We're almost at the end of the reading portion, so wanted to bring that in.
Some lovely pictures.
These are the sexual energy infusions that and of course this is a picture by a very dear friend of ours, Janos. Some of you may know him from Holland. He's a very famous inspirational artist who we've actually done some work with him and love him, but he's given us permission to use some of his work, and this one just fit it because we are constantly receiving infusions of this light from home, and that's important to keep in mind. Now here's one. Yes, this is a professional, but look at her eyes. Just look. You can see. You can see the smile forming. You can see the energy coming up. Now there's one other thing that I'm going to share with you here as we go through some of these pictures, because I have a few more for you. But many times we are used to making eye contact, but we're also used to, because we're used to that, we're also used to putting up this filter. And when we make eye contact with somebody, right away we put up this little bit of a filter so they can't see us. It would be really difficult if she saw who I really was. That's kind of the way we feel. So we put up this little smoke screen, and it's very unconscious, and it even works when you look at somebody directly in the eye. Many times you're going to see the sexual energy sneak out of somebody when they're looking out of the corner of their eyes. And that's what I wanted to share with you here. You'll see some pictures of that and some illustrations of that. She is not looking at him directly. She's kind of glancing at him from the side. Many times when a person is trying to hold or project, let's say you're trying to impress somebody, Okay? I'm always trying to impress her. But, but let's say you're trying to impress. So you're basically sending out this energy. You got the smile on your face, and some of it's genuine, and some of it's this little fuzzy thing that's going out here. When you look at somebody from the side and you sneak over there, it's gone. You can't filter it. So we tend to see sexual energy in people sometimes when we're not expecting it. Sometimes we'll look over at somebody on the airplane or something, and they're looking at somebody else, and you can just see their energy growing, because basically it comes out many times that way as well.
Well, didn't the group say that usually people, when they look at a person, they will connect with the left eye? Didn't the group say that if you look in their right eye, that's sexual energy?
It starts the sexual
Try
energy.
it.
Well, people present themselves with their right eye. It's their
with their left eye.
With their left eye. It's basically, if you are presenting yourself, you're basically coming in like this, even if you are right eye dominant. So basically, you're coming in, and it's how we shake hands. It's how we do everything else. So typically, the spirit can be seen easier in the left eye, and we use a lot of those exercises. If you stare for a long time and actually break that little bit of a filter there in the right eye, it stirs the sexual energy. And we know that because we used to do it a lot in our courses, and we had to go, okay, we're going to stick with the left side.
When we did our seminars in person, it was a lot of fun to play with.
It was kind of confusing for people, because all of a sudden they'd be looking at somebody and stir a feeling they weren't quite familiar with.
We were all going around saying, don't look in the right eye.
Don't look in the right eyes, exactly. So, or if you do, just get lost.
Enjoy.
Okay, let's see where we're going here. How and when do we use it? Oh, my God, we use it all the time.
If we allow ourselves to.
Exactly. Well, the biggest thing about this is we block it. Like I said, we filter it. If you look at somebody and they go, oh, the next time you look at them, you're going to kind of sneak into their vision. You know what I mean? And we have learned to do that with our sexual energy. We have absolutely learned to look away. More women than men, because women are more of the vulnerable energy in the sexual energy than men. So typically what happens, if you make eye contact with somebody on the train, in the airplane, in wherever it is, grocery store, it doesn't make any difference. You make eye contact with somebody, usually two people would smile at each other. But that's not usually what happens. Usually what happens when two people actually make eye contact, they look away. They break the contact.
I have really gotten better at this because, early on in our relationship, I thought, I'm married. I can't look at other guys. And if I would see somebody who I found attractive, I would tend to look down. And I think now, of all the many years that I just lost the opportunity to have just a second with somebody else. Just a smile, to enjoy each other's company for a second. And
that's
like
why
said,
I don't know who turns you on, because you always hide it when when somebody that does turn you on, I don't know who that is.
Oh, not now. No, I'll stare at them. No.
That's great.
No, I feel more comfortable, and now I have a human exchange.
That's it.
With another person, and that's what it is, and it can stimulate the feeling of like, oh, he just by sharing that made me feel more like a complete person, like a woman. It was nice.
And what actually happens, according to the group, when she opens that up, more of her own spirit comes into her body. That's actually what happens. She's able to carry more of her own spirit when she opens that up.
And like I said before, it says once that is opened up, I'm feeling good about myself, I'm feeling attractive, I feel confident, and then I come home and I'm more loving to him.
Well, and other people see it. Usually somebody will comment to you at the checkout or, something else. Somebody else will comment how beautiful you are today or something, or how glowing you are, and they've never seen you before. It's because they're picking up on that energy. We use this all the time. We have only typically studied or worked with sexual energy in the bedroom. And that needs to stop because we have it all the time. We deal with it all the time. It's the base of the creative energy on planet Earth.
It's nothing to be feared. That's
Really?
the biggest sentence I could say to you, because that's what it used to be. When I wouldn't share that glance with a person, it was like, oh, fear. I can't have that wanting to look at another person when I'm committed to my husband. You know, that's not about it at all. It's just sharing a moment with someone.
That's it. You've got two spirits. Now, if she has a moment of beautiful connection with a spirit in some place, and is that going to take away from my relationship in some way with her? Absolutely not. We just said it was the absolute opposite. Mm-hmm. She'll come home and she'll say, oh, the butcher made a pass at me, or the butcher said something nice to me, and guess who gets all that sexual energy? I mean, you know, so it works as long as we lose the fear of it.
But I do have to say that maybe before, when I wasn't comfortable with doing it, is because I was younger, and I think young women do have a fear of a man will misunderstand their smiling at them or something.
Well,
so it's a fine line.
That's a shame, and that we need to change in the men. Quite honestly, we've got a lot of men here today, too. This is not just women.
Right.
There's a lot of men here, and us men have to take responsibility for making that safe. Because our aggressiveness on the masculine side, which is a balance. If you keep it in balance, it's fine, but many times the feminine's gotten out of balance and the masculine's gotten out of balance. And that's where we need to find this balance, and we can take a responsibility, much like maybe the Masons did, to make it safe on this planet for feminine energy.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean I'm putting her on a pedestal or anything else, but it means all of us, all together, have been out of balance, and we can start working with that.
You know, another way, I think you might have mentioned, to connect with a person with this wonderful felt energy is by compliments. You know, we were at the hardware store, of all places, last week, and for Steve's birthday, I bought him this really nice jacket. He looked so good in it, and I could tell him he looked good all day long. He'd say, well, thank you. Well, the girl at the checkout counter said, oh, you look so good in that jacket. He was beaming. We had a great day.
I couldn't go wrong from that day on.
And so often, especially women, will not compliment men. And it was harmless.
True. Well, and of course, you were with me. If I was by myself, it would have been a little awkward situation for her, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
But we can get past all this stuff.
But men are more free to say, you look very nice.
And I do it. I make a point to do this. And sometimes people kind of feel like I'm coming on too strong, but most of the time in a seminar, they know how much I'm in love with her, so I'm not a threat to people. But basically, I will walk up to somebody and say, you are gorgeous. You are just beaming, or I'll say something like that because I mean it. It doesn't mean I want anything from them or I want to control them in any way.
I think that's becoming less of an issue as we are learning to really feel each other's energy. Yep. And I'm not talking just sexual energy, but you can tell if a person's in integrity or if they're lying or if they're really coming from the heart. So I think that this misunderstanding of sharing time together, just a quick moment to share a smile or something, can be understood more today.
I believe it. Mm-hmm. Let's keep moving here because we got a couple more to go. How do we use it? We use it all the time, of course.
Sexual energy is used all the time. It is what you said. It is what allows your spirit to pretend to be human. You flow the most energy when your spirit is well anchored within the physical body and when you are creating.
This is what they have been talking a lot about, our grounding. We, humanity, has had a challenge grounding since we went through this portal. We went through the portal between the 12th of December and the 21st of December of 2012. Now we're in a new world, and we're still having difficulty anchoring. And for many, many, many years, the group talked about the fact that we were going to fill with more of our own spirit. Well, if you just take that as a very simple illustration of a balloon, a hot air balloon, we're going to fill it full of hot air. Well, your hot air just got increased by double. So what does that mean? That means you're going to need grounding in order for you to be in your body and on the earth. So you may need a few more sandbags to hold you down while you're getting ready to take off for your trip.
That doesn't mean gaining weight.
No, it doesn't mean that. But what it means is that's the restriction of sexual energy. We don't ground. We're afraid of that part of ourselves. We think it's an animalistic part. It's not spiritual.
We have to be in control.
The group could not disagree more with that. And that's what we're going to share with you. We're going to go through this. We've been talking a lot about balancing the sexual energy. We're not going to be talking a lot about that because we just finished a 4-day course on that. So you can go back and especially watch the first day, which is free, if you'd like to, about the balancing sexual energy. This is going to be about removing the barriers and letting it shine all the time through us, letting our eyes express our spirit. How's that?
Well, it's like any part of life. If you just flow with it, then life just runs a little easier. And it's from everything, the way you're doing your job to your sexual energy, any part of your life. If you just lose a little bit of the control and flow and understand more about yourself this way.
We are carrying more of our own spirit, so therefore we are naturally carrying more of our own sexual energy. Let's learn how to deal with it comfortably. That's the idea. Okay, here's the fun stuff. Is this sexual energy? Absolutely. Of course it is.
I don't know if the man likes it, though.
I got a feeling the man actually made it, but that's okay.
No, that was his neighbor.
Okay, so we see it all the time. You see it when people are laughing. Now, does that mean that these people are having sex? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It means that they are full of life force sexual energy. That's the beautiful part about it. And again, we're talking about professional models. It's actually very difficult to tell what that really looks like because they go out of their way to make their eyes bright or appear that way. Anyway.
Now that's the most beautiful picture I've ever seen. There's nothing sexier than a big man just cuddling a baby.
Yeah, there
it shows their sensitive side. That's the balance.
That's the balance of the masculine and feminine. Yeah, absolutely. It's very beautiful. And we see it in many different ways. We see it in like-sex relationships. We see it in mother-daughter relationships. You see it everywhere, even where there is no sex. Please understand that word we're using in a very broad manner here. So that's one of the things about it. Now, this is also a professional model, but look at her. She can't hide it. She can't hide it. Look at that smile. She's beaming with sexual energy. Real simple. Now, does that mean that it's necessarily him? No, it may not be. She may be thinking of her husband or boyfriend or whoever, or maybe that is him. I don't know. But she's flowing it. That's the most important part. She's let the energy come into her and do it in that way. There's another one. A gentleman that came to one of our seminars in Holland. You can almost feel it. Now, we talked about looking kind of sneaking in with the sexual energy through the side of your vision or through the peripheral of your vision. I'll show you a little bit of that too, because that happens all the time. And of course, sexual energy is really seen. It's measured in the eyes because the group talks a lot about our eyes and what we do with them. They actually call them projectors, not receptors. They say we send out a beam from our eyes, which is reflected back like radar, and that is how we see. That is not what medical science or even science says, but if you take that illustration, you can see how important the sexual energy would be.
Yeah, they always say the eyes are the mirror of the soul.
Yep.
It's people can really see you when they look into your eyes.
Yeah, that's the idea. Now, here again, we see them kind of looking out of the corner of their eyes. Many times when a person's looking out of the corner of their eyes, they're thinking. And, of course, we know the signals. If you look up to the left, you're making something up. If you look up to the right, you're trying to remember something. Yeah, there's all the different parts of it. But if you are looking just neutrally across, usually when you move your eyes just a little bit off the center, your protection, your filters are on the center. When you look on the side like that, you lose the protection. So many times you can actually spot sexual energy easier out of the corner of your eyes or out of the peripheral vision sometimes. And the whole idea is to see a spirit. It's not so much that we're trying to figure out, is he running sexual energy or is he doing... Can I see this person's spirit? Can I see their spirit coming through the body? That's sexual energy. That's exactly what it is. And it means a harmony of the spirit, a harmony of the person, and a harmony of the physical body, all which have to kind of work together to bring that in.
All these people look bright. I mean, look at her.
Oh, I've gone out of my way to find these, yes.
Yes, well, you did a good
we
job.
We have a rather large library that we own the rights to be able to use this, but it's still hard to find this. I spent several hours looking for just these few that I'm showing you.
Well, it's all about, it's all about the eyes. I was going to say the smile, too, but he's not smiling, and you can feel the sexual energy.
I've got 3 of them here. So this is the same gentleman. And obviously he's in different clothes each time with a different background, so it must be different settings. But I just want you to be aware of the different amounts of sexual energy he's carrying here, here, and here.
Oh, it's getting warm in here.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. That's the point. So which person would you rather see? How would you like to represent yourself on Earth?
Any and all the above.
Exactly. Do you want to close it down, or do you want to open it up? Now, if you're a female, opening up is risky. It's difficult. It's almost like an open invitation sometimes, or at least people seem to take it that way. Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be.
Well, I have to say that with the picture of him smiling, or so wide with his teeth and all, that is less threatening.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of a friendly sexual energy. The other, you might be a little like, whoa.
Exactly. That was pretty intense. The middle one was pretty intense.
Yes.
All right. We'll keep going. Well, here's our daughter. Here's Greg. Look at the sexual energy when we dance. And of course, that's our other.
Dear friends and adopted daughters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but this is this is why I miss doing our seminars in person. This is wonderful the way we're able to present here because we reach so many people at once. But to have all these people in the same room, these light workers that are so bright anyway, just sharing exactly. their sexual energy all over the room. It's beautiful.
And that's Elke, our daughter off to the left, Greg, Meg's husband, and partner off to the right, and right behind them both looking in the cameras, Audrey.
Yes.
Another one of our daughters who just had another baby. So we're excited about that. Anyway, let's keep going here. Again, professional photos, but you can kind of see, you can see the energy. You can see the whole part of it coming through. It comes through in friendship sometimes. Friends can light you up. That's what it is. Real simple.
It's wonderful as a parent to have your children grow up and be, when they're around 13 or 12 or whatever age, probably earlier now today, when they're first discovering what turns them on, excites them in another person.
Right.
Exactly. It's nice to see that develop, that part of them from a child into an adult.
And of course, it knows no age boundaries. The sexual energy is with you always. It's our life force energy. Okay, this is a sexual energy seminar we did in Moscow, and I just want to kind of tell you the story of it because if you look here, you'll see one of our daughters just looking, and we adopt daughters, by the way. We don't actually have a physical daughter on this planet, so we adopt daughters all over the world. She's one of our adopted daughters. And I'm taking the camera, and I just said, okay, this is a sexual energy seminar. Give me a sexy pose. So she puts on this little sexy pose.
She didn't hesitate.
She's just as cute as can be. Anyway, full of life force energy. But here's the interesting part I want you to see. It's not so much about her. Look at the two people that are next to her. The guy standing behind her and the guy standing right in front of her. Look at the brightness of their eyes. You can see it. That is what we're talking about. And it just beams sometimes. So you never know when you're going to catch it, where it's going to come from. And this is what I wanted to bring up. These are actually just my notes. So, well, I tell you why, because we're going to go over right now into Studio A, and we're going to bring in the group. And I don't know who's coming in, whether it's going to be Ilra, the timekeeper, or M. Probably M. He is working with the balancing of sexual energy. He is a balanced being. She, Hun, I think they call hen.
Oh, that's right. Somebody did have a word for it.
Oh, there's different words in different places. We've heard the word G, which is a neutral gender word. Laurie, one of our Light Masters has sent us a kind of a new series of things we can use. But we also heard from somebody from Denmark. And in Denmark, they've already come up with different words, and they tend to call them hun for females and hen for, I guess, for males.
Well, we're trying to come up with a word because M is very much the balance.
Yeah.
It's neither
It's
female
neutral.
or general neutral. I think that's the best way.
So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go over here and we're going to start channeling. But before we do, I wanted to tell you what we're going to experience in the other seminars. Okay? Because we are going to be covering things, and I'm sorry I didn't have time to make this look really nice, but we're going to cover the misuses of sexual energy. Because we on this earth have learned to misuse sexual energy in many different ways. They're going to talk about that, and this is not today. These are in the days that are following here. And I'm not going to give the dates because I don't have them here. Look them up. It's easier. But that's one of the things we're going to cover. The other thing we're going to be cover is sexual healing. We're starting to see a lot of this energy that we're talking about used for sexual healing in so many ways. It's absolutely incredible. And we'll show you some of that and some of the possibilities that are coming up. The main thing that we want to do more than anything else is to give you sexual confidence. Confidence in your physical being, confidence in who you are so that you can step out as a creator being pretending to be a human and have the confidence of all that. So that is one of the biggest things that we're going to be working on in the second day. We'll be going through them in different parts of it, but second day. And the other one is to make this energy flow all the time. So we're going to work with channeling your creativity and running the sexual energy. We'll give you some tools for that and some ideas for that.
I really encourage all of us to just play with this energy and not take it so seriously. You know, there's many parts of it, and if we can, like I said, lose the fear of it and know that if we act where we understand it and if we send out the right message to people, they will pick up where you stand with this, and they won't misunderstand what you're trying to do.
It's a vibrational thing.
It is.
It is absolutely a vibrational thing. And if you are sending out your sexual energy and you have fear mixed in with it, it will be abused. It's real simple. It's almost like an invitation in some way. So we'll talk more about this. We'll talk about it. We're also going to talk about healing sexual energy scars. If you have history with abuses or sexual abuse of any kind, we're going to be working with that. We're going to be doing some very powerful stuff with this.
Very important to clear that away.
So we're going to give you the opportunity to go back and rewrite any challenges that you've had having to do with sexual energy, whether they had to do with sexual abuse or something else, because there's many things that can block your sexual energy. So we will work with that and give you an opportunity to actually go back and rewrite it. Based on the inverse wave therapy that we've taught for years, I'm going to take you through some very targeted areas to release you from any of those things. And some of you don't even know you have them until you let go of them. That's the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting. That'll be on the third day that we have scheduled after today. So hope you come and join us for that. And today we're just going to have a ball. Shall we step over?
All right.
Here, we'll bring up the fire here and let everybody blow out the candles for a second.
Okay. As you can tell, Steve and I are very excited about this information because it is life force energy. It's about being who we can be to our fullest by understanding each level of our development. And when we can understand who we are, then others can see us for the true person that we're meant to be. So just take a deep breath with me for a minute. Breathe in and feel the life force energy filling your lungs. And as you release it, touch your arms. Give yourself a hug. Feel your own body. What a precious vehicle you have. We should honor it every day when we wake up. Look in the mirror And instead of judgment, finding the imperfections that we so often do, look in that mirror and smile and have your eyes light up and see your own sexual energy. If you'd start the day that way by giving thanks for who you are and feeling your brightness coming out, then every person that you encounter that day will benefit as well as you will. Because you see yourself through others. You can share this light, have it go back and forth with whoever you meet. Imagine yourself, like I mentioned, walking through an airport. Maybe you have a little extra time and you're not rushing through, running for a plane, but you decided to get there a little early. Just imagine yourself walking through and feeling very calm and enjoying the excitement, the anticipation of your trip that you're going to be going on. But you walk through the airport and dare to share yourself with all who walk past you. There will be others, some people who do catch your eye, and take that moment and just share a smile and your eye connection, and you will have the most wonderful day from there. When we do this, when we just, wherever you are, just allow yourself to be who you are, centered, full of life, and do share that with everyone around you. It's important. It's fun. Let's play. And so it is.
Greetings, dear ones. I am M. It is such a joy to be with you all, for you are now studying the reason that I am here. Yes, this was interesting because, you see, all of humanity has been working in a field of duality. Now, duality simply means that you see things as the opposites. You never see things as they truly are. You only see the contrast. In truth, you're only seeing the picture of his face here because it is different than the background. If it was exactly the same, it would all blend together. Well, that is what you are doing. You are literally all taking these beautiful rays of light from home, running them through your body, and turning them into this incredible beam of light that comes out of your own face. Very magical indeed. And that is the beauty of what you are starting to do here more than anything else at this point. So let me take a breath with you for just a moment. Let's ground our energy, shall we? Take a deep breath in through your nose. Just let it out slowly. Good. And again. In through the nose. Let it out easily. Good. And release. Now, do you feel that warmth going through all of your being? That is because the oxygen in your blood is now starting to travel to all these places, exciting your body. Well, that is also a form of sexual energy. You are literally bringing in your light from home and processing it in your own physical being. Then it turns into this beautiful radiance, which is the sexual energy. It's what makes your eyes shine so greatly. Oh, excuse me, just a moment here. I'll switch you over to this beautiful lady for just a moment here. There we go. Right. Now, so, what I wish to speak to you about this day is we're going to send you through a little activation. The activation is to clear away much of the debris that you have left in place, blocking your own energies sometimes. And what will happen here is that you go through your day just repeating things that you have done as successes in the past. That is how you define success. Oh, look at that. I haven't taken her off the screen, have I? Oh, she's just smiling so beautifully. So anyway, we'll bring Ilra in and let him push the buttons in a bit. But the beauty is you've all brought this light from home. Each one of you are constantly connected to home through your own higher self. Now here's the beauty. Your higher self brings the ray from home, which is complete. It has all the balance of all the energy. It is in perfection. But you live on a planet of imperfection, and perfection cannot truly even exist here. The same as the truth is, you can only be finite on Earth. You cannot even understand the concept of infinity truly, and yet you can talk about it. Well, that is the same with the balanced sexual energy. When you have had many beings on Earth that have been balanced enough to carry that light, and when they do, if they were not thrown into fear and run from the fear of the people, generally what would happen is they would use it for healing. And that is when you flood a being full of the complete ray, you heal everything. Now here's what happens. When the ray comes from home, it is hitting this little prism which divides it up into the different colors. This is how we describe multidimensionality, but we also use this to describe the sexual energy, because none of you are carrying all of it. Your physical bodies could not handle that, although some of you try, we know. But nonetheless, you can carry more and more of this as you start taking this on. But all of that has to do with your filters, your reactions to sexual energy. And that's why we are bringing this up to you. That's why we have prepared some of the slides for you that we have, to simply make you aware of your own reactions and how you deal with it. For most people most people do not walk up to other people and say, "Hey, how's your sexual energy today?" They don't ask that. It's not part of your consciousness in any form. So we'll bring it to your consciousness so you can become aware of one of the most powerful forces in the universe that runs through each and every one of you individually and expresses individually. You all have a different flavor of the sexual energy. How beautiful is that? And you're all looking around trying to complete yourself because you're aware that you're living on the planet of imperfection. So you feel you must add something to yourself to protect you in some way. And many times it is a partner, or many times you are looking for even sexual partners that you can balance yourself with. Well, we hate to tell you this, dear ones, but the truth is, real relationships can only happen when both people are balanced. Yes, we know. It is very different energies than what you have thought on Earth many times. But the beautiful part is each and every one of you can do this within. You can balance your energy, but you can also increase it. Now, what does that look like? What does it look like when a person is walking around on planet Earth full of sexual energy? Well, we'll share with you what it looks like, because we look at it all the time. We watch humans all the time from here. It's really magical indeed. Ilra does this all the time. That's his job, you know. He sits on a cloud up here and basically watches humans. Most of the time he tries to make them move one way, or he plants something in their field so that they'll run across it. And then we watch as all these beautiful things unfold. But generally what happens when we see a person really feeling good about themselves, they are radiating sexual energy. And it is beautiful. And many of your interpretations of spiritual experiences come many times with what you would call a halo. Well, that is what we see as sexual energy, dear ones, when the energy is literally leaking off of you because your physical body cannot contain it. That's what it looks like. Now, what does it look like from us looking at you on Earth? Well, it's beautiful. We look and we see all this crowd of people going, and one person, bright light. And sometimes people are coming into their field just to experience the energy for a moment. They don't even know it's the person, but they feel the energy and they're drawn to it. And the person, not even aware that the people are feeling it, is simply walking forward, and people are opening up in front of them to make space for them without even knowing what was happening. The energy precedes you in everything that you do. It is the creation energy because it leaves you and bounces off the universe and creates your world for you just in time for you to experience it. Take a breath, dear ones. Ground your energy into the body. Beautiful. And now another slow breath. As you release it, feel the top of your head. Feel that light coming in. Feel it dancing throughout your body. And finally grounding through your feet or your connection to the ground, wherever that is. Now with that connection in place, open and receive more. Flood your being with this energy right now. Some of you it has already brought to tears. Let it happen. Beautiful. That is the first. Sometimes what happens, dear ones, is you close down the restrictions, the tubes which the energy flow through. And without use, they tend to close and crimp over time. And what you've just done is open them. Well, sometimes that causes not a pain, but it actually causes a sensation of home. And sometimes brings people to tears. Well, if that's happening to you, know that you are on the right track. And know that there was something that needed stretching in order to do that. You've had those tubes closed far too long. So take another breath. Beautiful. And release. Good. So what we will do with here, we will start this journey, this activation for you, and set you into motion. For we will take you through some experiences and plant some seeds to help you release those filters, or at least adjust them slightly. For, dear ones, it is not the filters coming in we are concerned about. It is the filters that you send out. You filter your own energy because you are afraid to be seen. And that is the truth with everyone. We are not talking about modesty here. We are talking about the fact that it takes energy to see another soul. And many of you don't have that energy or fear the sexual energy within you, so you break the contact. You look away. You look down. You tell the person, it's not okay to look at me right now. And they break it too. And that is a shame. Because many times we've gone to great extent up here to set up all these possibilities so that someone could look at you in the grocery store and fill you full of light. And here you are looking away. You understand the differences now? Yes, it has been risky before. Planet Earth has been a very harsh place, especially during the Dark Ages. Oh, they were dark indeed. And from time to time, it gets very nasty there. But is it your responsibility to correct all that or protect yourself from that? Or is it your responsibility to ground your light and have a beautiful human experience? That is what we are looking for. You will find much starting here. The possibilities are here. We have given you thoughts for your brain. We have given you energy for your heart. And now we are going to tie it all together with an activation designed specifically for you. We hope you enjoy it. But lose the fear, dear ones. That is the beauty of the new world. You no longer need to protect yourself the way you did. It is perfectly fine to release all of the energy and to share it with the other spirits who are also pretending to be a human. It is with the greatest of honor, dear ones, that I ask you to treat each other with respect, nurture one another every chance you get. Remember my giggle and my laugh, for it is one of the sexiest things that I do. And play well together, Aspavo.
Aspavo. It is a beautiful part of our lives to accept our sexual energy. It is a gift from home, the part, a very important part of who we are. And by blocking that, by like it was said, the tube that's coming down, by blocking that and not allowing it to fully come through to this beautiful human body that we have, is like cutting off a part of ourselves. And how can we be whole when we don't explore that part of who we are? So be open and walk with confidence, knowing that you have something to offer yourself and all around you by having your brightness shine and sharing it. Be the bright light. Have the sexual confidence that you deserve, and share your energy with all. So it is.
Breathe. Feel the wind in your hair. You are having a human experience on Earth. Do you remember who you are? We do. Breathe. You are awakening from the dream. You have brought light from home to spread it everywhere that you can. Breathe and smile. so much beauty. Take it all in. Are you ready for the journey? And now breathe. See all the beauty of nature. For she too carries the same energy and reflects it in a slightly different way. You are the beings that travel the earth, spreading the light from home everywhere you travel. See the beauty reflected all around you. It is truly yours. There is a confidence that your spirit has in your body. Feel that integrity now, the relationship of your spirit and your own physical body. Let that harmonize right now. Take a breath, deep, all the way good. Let it out. Take in all the beauty around you. Magical. Yes, you are. You have been sent to Earth with a task of spreading and reflecting light through your own being. Fear not if others see your light. It is what you've come to carry. Carry it with pride. Carry it proudly. You are the beauty which you seek on the earth. Welcome home. Now breathe and anchor your spirit in the body. You have been cleansed. Let go of the fears. Now breathe. I will take you on a journey of color, of light, of rhythms of sound, and rhythms of color. Now breathe. Bring it all the way into your being. Well, now there's my rhythms. Greetings, everybody. I'm Elder of Rhythmic Service. Let it all pierce right through you. The rhythms going through your body excite the sexual energy. It's part of the reason you dance so much on Earth. It's one way to express all that beauty. Right now we're going to flood you full of light, full of love. Are you ready? Here we go. Let your body move a little bit to the music. Just let it absorb it all. There you go. Each one of these little rays, all of you've brought your own special color to Earth. But your responsibility, is to spread that light in some way. It's what we call sexual energy. Breathe it in. Step up. Rhythms of light moving through your being right now. Feel it. Telling its own story, reminding you who you are. You came to Earth with a special mission. We are reminding you of that right now. Now breathe. Settle your being. Find your center of your energy. Take in the whole screen at once. Look at the larger picture, not any of the details. And breathe. Your brains are always looking for the answers. This answer is in your heart. The new world has begun. What is your position? Where are you aiming? How can we help you get there? Now breathe. Now feel your heartbeat changing and catching up to the rhythm of the music. Feel it. Let your body move to it. Good. Let the light return. This is Ilra on the piano. Breathe and feel all the majesty of earth, all the beauty that lies before you. Your light is growing, dear ones. All beings on earth can now hold more of their own spirit, more of their own light. If you are willing, for that is all it takes for you to change. Breathe. Let the light flow through you completely. Let the clouds cleanse your spirit. So much beauty. How much can you hold in your being? Let it all in. And breathe the light that fills you full of confidence and stirs all of your energy. Feel the light traveling through your being, opening up all of the filters that you had placed in front of you. All of those protections are now leaving. You are expanding to who you really are. Welcome home. Oh yes, don't forget to breathe for this one. Take it all in. The heat is rising. Breathe it back. Breathe it in. Let the rhythms run through your being. Some like it hot. Breathe. Now I will take you on a journey into all that is inside the atom. To show you how simple, how easy, Let it move all around you. Feel the nurturing. Feel your own spirit being activated. And the light flowing through every part of your body. Beautiful. Do you know how magical you are? Do you know who you are? You are the greatest beings that have ever lived. You are the angels of the new earth. You are the light of the love. You are unique. Now just be. Don't try to be anything, just let yourself be. Let us rearrange some of the very simple atoms for you to open the pathways to light. Well done. Now feel your being full of light. Take a breath all the way down to your feet and release it. Good. Take in all the beauty and feel the water as it cleanses your spirit. And breathe. You are spirits of light and love. And don't forget to smile. Beautiful. You have been activated. Your channels are open. And now we will nurture you. Breathe. Now, like fingers running through your hair, we will gently caress you, bring you back to earth. Know that you have changed. Make space for that. Know the possibilities that you have, and that you are emanating a new light, your own spirit, clearly through your being. Every time you smile, every time you look out of the corner of your eye. Take it all and remember to smile. Well done, dear ones. The next time you catch yourself looking away, look back and smile. It is the fire within. Breathe deep into your soul. Fill your spirit, fill your body with oxygen and your spirit with light. Well done. Dear ones, you have traveled a very far distance throughout the universe to be here now. And we tell you, you have been very successful at everything you have been attempting to do. Now there is a whole new energy on Earth. You'll see that Earth has changed herself, and that you are in the process of changing now. It is time to take that which is yours and claim it completely. That is your own energy. It no longer can be hid. So we hope you stop trying to hide it. And simply smile. Accept it as part of your being, and watch the magic return to humanity. It is with the greatest of honor that we greet you, those of you who wish to turn it up a little bit. It is an exciting time on Earth, and we promise you this will help you to return home. Enjoy the journey, dear ones. It is with the greatest of honor that we ask you to treat each other with respect. Nurture one another every chance you get. Play well together. A spavo.
A spavo. You can see you can connect with your sexual energy by all there is around you. Through this journey we just took together, you can find your complete self through nature, through music, with everything that you see, feel, all your senses. Bring it in, more in touch to your complete self. And stand tall today and just know that you are special and people deserve to see the real you.
It's been a pleasure to be with you all today. We had a wonderful day. I hope you got as much out of it as we did. The idea was to charge you up. Now go take it and do something with it. Spread it to somebody else. Create something. Go do something magical. Take this energy and ground it in your life.
We're glad that you could join us for this free day that we offered, and hopefully you'll be able to continue with us for the rest of this. But if not, thank you for being here today.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are going to continue on, we're going to take you much deeper into this. We are going into sexual healing, and as we mentioned, we are also going to remove any restrictions. We're going to basically rewrite them through the use of inverse wave therapy, which we will do in channel.
It's powerful.
By the people who actually, by the beings that actually created it in the first place, not Steve. So anyway, I look forward to that. That'll be coming up very soon.
Yes.
A spavo, everybody. Know that we love you.
Take care. Bye.